Welcome to part 2 of the Spongebob Creature from the Krusty Krab Let's Play. And we are still in the first level. And yeah, I know, this part is like almost 30 minutes. Surprising, isn't it? Because we're going to be entering a stage that is long, but I don't want to unprofessionally get out of a stage. Because, you know, I would look, well, unprofessional. I'm just saying. Okay, so this is where we're actually going to be getting our attack. Our only, well, actually, yeah, this is like our noticeable attack other than the ground pound. We're going to get it randomly right here. Yeah, right here. By the way, that little icon over there, that's pretty much a sleepy seed radar. The faster it beeps, the closer you are to the sleepy seed. So keep an eye on that. But now we have the sand slap ability, which is nothing more than a simple continuous pimp slap that goes in a circle. You can actually hold down on the square button, and he'll actually do it infinitely, which makes it ideal if you want to go through large groups of enemies. At least when they're in a group of 6. And well, this is the part of the game where noticeably it'll have things like, well, why is this necessary? So yeah, our car is now, well, broke by plankton. Okay, so no problem. I mean, I can see this. Yeah, I don't mind this part of the stage being here. It's plankton, obviously. He's the bad guy. He's an evil genius, mind you. So it really shouldn't. It's understandable that there will be some kind of padding, because, you know, you gotta fix up your car. Okay, so that's fine and dandy, right? Keep what I said in mind later this part. Just keep that in mind. But what we now have to do is collect 3 random car parts, and then basically our car is fixed. I would question that, considering how the hell are 3 random parts able to fix a full car? But it is a dream, so I shouldn't question it. But now we have these riot shield enemies. They get riot shield. What we basically have to do is dash into the enemy. Once they're stunned, sand slap at them. Over here, that button I pressed opened up this garage, and it gives us a sleepy seed. That button right there pretty much activates a lot of gold coins for you to collect in that little pit. And I know that there's going to be kleptos watching this, and I know that the kleptos that are watching this are going to be gritting their teeth as I'm saying this. The coins are used to, like, you know, buy stuff like concept art, music. I think music. There's also a cheat system, but I never got it to work. I don't understand the point of it, but I'll show you in an extra video, trust me. There's also a lot of some advertisements, like even Lego Spongebob, which I'm not going to show because copyright. I don't want to. Well, you know what I mean. Alright, so we have beaten all the enemies. Raises the platform. Let's go. Ugh, man, I can't. Whew. 5 minutes in, and I'm already you getting bored. Because again, this part's almost like 30 minutes. Well, you'll see why. Which leads into a problem I mentioned before, but I'm going to be bringing it up. I'm going to be bringing it up more in this part. Not now, but trust me, later on, once we head into that garage, once we get those platforms up in that garage, because you know everything has pretty much the same setup, you'll know. Trust me. Yeah. All right. So in the first area, you had to collect I think tankers, whatever. And then we had to destroy 50 boxes. Here it's pretty much an enemy gauntlet where we have to beat 20 enemies. He's in wave 20 enemies. He's divided into waves. He's just to collect 20 parts to open the door. What kind of security system is this? Alright, so we have round 2 and now we have round 3. 5 more enemies. 3 riot shields. Riot shield enemies can be annoying if they're like clustered together, and especially since if it's like a really tight area. But it's nothing too problematic, at least not yet. Once I get to that second stage. Ugh. Okay, so now let's get this last platform raised. Why not? Okay, gotta get that spring. Come on, gotta get that spring. And what? Yeah, that's one thing I like to bring up. When it comes to stuff like that, this game loves padding. Like unnecessary padding. Like, what was the point of that? We had to use the charge move to get it out of the way, and then we had to use the winch to raise the platform back up. It's padding. I don't understand why they would have to implement in such a scene. But we have another race, although I will say it draws out the game, you know? But I'm not going to bring it up until we get to after this race. Because now we have Plankton. And alright, so he's the final boss. So he's the final segment of this race. Okay, so let's finish this once and for all. Well, let's do it. Yeah, okay, so Plankton's really nothing too different, and except the bonds are cosmetic. Although I will say that car, his bike, looks ridiculous. I know Plankton is tiny and he has to look all good, but this is pushing it. Like, seriously, I honestly think that back part looks like a cape. And the two top parts look like he has his arms up. You know, the hey ma, look, no hands kind of motion. Well, not motion, but still. What else? Yeah, there's really nothing too different about this than the Patrick race. I mean, the route's different, but it's pretty lame, you know? Pretty lame final segment. But then again, it is the first level, so I can kind of forgive it. But those new parts we just got, we wasted time collecting those parts, and what do they do other than fix our car? Nothing. They do nothing. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know if the speed is increased, but I can tell that it's pretty identical So really, what's the point? Although you saw in the beginning right there, where Plankton pulled the big rigs, just clips through the vehicle, well unharmed. And alright, so we have one final lap, and that'll be a race. Okay, so yeah, I really have nothing to say here, guys. That's pretty much it. And I pretty much have nothing to say about this. It's literally the same thing with a few cosmetic changes here and there, like and the route's different, but I can't really talk about the different routes. They feel way too samey, similar. Sure, you have the falling buildings and you use that one as a ramp, but that's it. There's nothing else to explain. And I don't know why I constantly jump when I use the speed boost. I guess this is the car's first time using a speed boost and it doesn't know how to properly react to it. Now, okay, so we have wait, what? Oh, god damn it, man. Really? Yes. And in case if you haven't listened to a spoiler or from last part, or I hope I didn't, at least I hope I didn't make any spoilers. There are 7 segments, right? This is the reason why the first level drags. Seriously, man. But now we have one final segment, at least platforming, and it looks like SpongeBob was running against an unfinished wall. Yep, our final opponent is Gary. Out of all characters to make the final I really shouldn't say boss, as otherwise I would have been done with this game already. But it's just out of all characters to be the final racer, why Gary? It makes no sense whatsoever. Here, and it's just further proof that this game is one of the worst examples of unnecessary padding. And I'm sorry if I'm raging, guys, but it's what it is. But now we have an ability where we can grapple onto anchors. So you could also use it as an attack, but I really don't recommend it. Okay, so the reason why we have this platforming section, which by the way, is the main reason why it takes up a majority of this video. We have to collect engine attachments to our car. So yeah. And they actually do something. So it's pretty much like a double-edged sword, Oh, I mean, I'm glad that the things do something. It's a good thing because the engine attachments actually do something, but at the same time it's a bad thing because the level is just drags. This is where, or at least with the main platforming levels, with SpongeBob and Patrick, this is where the levels start to get really long. Like, noticeably long. The first stage, the very first platforming segment, and maybe a few ones here and there, they have promise. But other than that, though, we have it starts to reveal where it starts to become long. Level, and once we get, I'm not gonna say it. You'll see once I get to it. Although once we get it to one point, it's where they start getting really long. With one gameplay style. Ugh. Man. And yeah, the padding is pretty much one of the reasons why the levels are long. Long. I'm like, you have to break those boxes. Is to activate the elevator. What was the point of that? It feels like a gauntlet. This level feels like a gauntlet. Here, where we're confined. In each room, we're confined. We have to discover the area. How we get out. How we head to the next area. And this puts the werehog to shame. Let alone, I mean, look. When it comes to games having like long games I like but have long levels, I'll admit I somewhat like Heroes. I somewhat like why did I say that? I somewhat like Heroes. Well, then again, I think it's an okay game, but we'll get to it eventually. There's gonna be a lot of editing in that playthrough, by the way. But hey, what do you know? Well, I'll admit though, I like when it comes, like I like Sonic Unleashed, and I somewhat like Ghost 6's level designs, and I'll admit the levels go on for a bit too long. But this drags so much. It doesn't, like, to the point where, why are we doing this? Whatever happened to just making things simpler? And I know I may be asking too much, but this is the first stage. I can't stress that enough. It's like, really? This level likes to stop all of the time. You need to have you move spark plugs in a set direction where they want you to, like this. This, is constantly have to use the charge move. And like this is right up there. This is right up there, and this is from what I've heard, and this is from what I've heard of. This is right up there with Lost World 3DS's levels for being long. Yes, I know I constantly compare it with Sonic games, but honestly, I have nothing else to compare it to. All right, you see that little segment where those squares where it tells you to stop? That section doesn't stop. You can just tell that they were actually planning on doing more padding, but I guess they realized that there wasn't. But I guess they realized that there's already enough of it, and so it's like, okay, let's actually keep it moving. It's just that they may have forgotten to, script the change it to the arrows, because well, then again, and I'm probably thinking that it'll probably look awkward with the arrows intersecting like that. But still, man. And now we are coming to the worst offender when it comes to moving spark plugs. just... Okay, so I got another engine part we are gonna be continuing on. And then, nope. We have this thing. Alright, so you would think you would just climb up there and we have to control the engine, right? Okay, so you would think that we have to climb up there, right? No. Instead, we have to plug in four more spark plugs in a set direction, and then we climb up there here just to control it. And the set paths, like, you'll see the final set path for the final switch in this area, where all these paths right here, they're simple horseshoe shape paths, right? That doesn't apply for the last one. And you constantly have to use the charge move to move them. It was just no, like I don't want to do this. And it also brings up, what is the point? What is the point of changing that path? And if one of you guys are gonna say that it'll just make things duller, the level's already dull as it is. Seriously. And I know I'm kind of complaining a bit too much, but this is the path right here. Right? It doesn't go. It has 2 extra parts. What is the point of that? Hey, that is way too inconsistent. I know I've been rambling on saying how bad this game is when it comes to padding, and it's just, you guys really need to play the game if you want to see what I mean. Okay, so now we gotta use the switch to control the engine. We press the button, we ignite it, which breaks down the wall. We get our sleepy seed, and we can move on to the next area. Okay, got that. Oh, that would have dragged out the level even longer. That would have sucked. Big time. Oh, but going back to Gary one more bit. Is Gary a playable character? No, he's not. And so why tie him in to this game's story? And why does it need to show that the gate's closing? I'm sorry, I'm still a little fired up from the whole padding stupidity. But I really mean it, guys. And I'm sorry if I constantly bring this up. But it's true. Constant padding. This game is easily one of the worst examples for it. It drags out the levels even longer. It's taking up space. This level doesn't need to be 7 segments long. And you know. Oh, now I gotta get rid of all the bad guys. Just, why am I doing this? Why do we have to get rid of all the enemies? This is a really long and drawn out dream. And you would think that Spongebob would easily screw this over, or if he just do whatever he wants. But nope. It's Spongebob for you. Okay, so now we have one more spark plug to set up. And now we gotta climb all the way back to the top. And we have a sleepy seed nearby. Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. I'm raging too much in this part. There's even gonna be little mini games. There's even gonna be little mini games later on. I think once we get up to Plankton and where he has mini games, I'm only gonna show them once. But then afterwards, I'm just gonna cut those out. I am just gonna cut them out because as you know, this game is already long. As well, I'm sorry. This commentary is gonna be long enough, guys. So I don't want to drag it out even longer. Or even if, especially if the mini game itself sucks. But now we gotta go back, get that sleepy seed. As you know, 100% completion. Gotta collect them all. Oh, and come on, stupid cutscene. It's like the camera is so interested in everything, and it just has to pan towards everything. A closing gate, an elevator, a MacGuffin, and it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? It's just, and it just breaks your flow so much. And you know what? I'm a Sonic fan, so maybe that's the reason why I don't like these long, drawn-out levels. But I played Battle for Bikini Bottom. I played Movie Game. I mean, they can have long levels, but at the same time, they're enjoyable. And I'll say this right now, with those two games, graphically, they look good. I mean, Movie Game looked dated, but it still looked good. Here, I can't help to feel that it kind of downgraded. Everything's kind of downgraded, you know? Oh, it doesn't feel lush, or doesn't feel. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look sharp. It doesn't have like those sharp colors. Whereas it doesn't have open areas. Well, like when it comes to graphics. But then again, it really depends on the art style. But in the next part, guys, we are going to be doing the final race. So, with that being said, hey guys, I'm GameMan584. You guys have a great day, and see you all for part 3. Stupid long drawn out